Hey guys, it's that time of year right now when the weather's starting to change. Starting to go from your summer months into fall, and obviously fall into winter, etc. So right now, for some of us, I know some of you in the country are already into some pretty chilly weather, but for us where we're at, we're just hitting fall, and this is kind of our first really cool day. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to have a little discussion on that and throw some things out there for you. When the weather starts changing, be it from summer to winter, or more appropriately that fall period in between summer and winter, or when it's going from winter and you get into spring, that good time frame in between summer and winter on the opposite side, there's a couple of things that maybe you hadn't thought about, maybe you have, but we want to throw them out there anyway. For some of you, I know y'all really don't have really long fall and spring seasons. I know some of you just go straight from summer into winter and vice versa. Excuse me. Some of you are just the opposite. You kind of go from summer into a somewhat fallish time period, and it never really gets chilly or cold, then right back into summer again. Just depends on your geographic location and what's going on. So for the purposes of discussion here, I'm going to be talking about our area here in the southeast, where we get hot weather in the summer, cool weather in the fall, coldish weather in the winter. Obviously it doesn't get below freezing and stay below freezing, weeks at a time here, but we do get into the teens and 20s fairly regularly, and then way up high back into the 60s during the day. So we can go from real extremes here in the winter time, from well below freezing at night to well above freezing in the day. So that can present some challenges when it comes to your clothing and being outdoors and taking care of business, because you don't want to get hypothermic and become a casualty, but you also don't want to overheat and become a casualty. So where's that balance at? Well, a lot of companies now have come out in the past 10 years with just all kinds of different clothing options, all different kind of jackets, pants, tops, base layers, the whole 9 yards. And there's been some pretty cool improvements in what's available and what's being in use. So we wanted to touch on a few of those real quick and kind of what some of our preferences are. Maybe it'll give you some ideas to go by yourself, work with how you got. Not necessarily saying that our way is the best way to do it. It's just what works for us in our given situation, our given location, terrain, etc. Obviously you'll have to adapt that for your area. Today it's really sunny out, hardly a cloud in the sky, but we're getting 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts with sustained at about 15 to 20. In here under the trees and stuff, the canopy, it's kind of blocking it a little bit, so it's more of just kind of a little mild breeze, but I'm sure you can probably hear it on camera blowing through the treetops. Out in the open, it's whipping pretty good. Now our air temperature is in the mid-50s right now, and it's not supposed to get much more than that all day long, dropping down into the upper 30s, low 40s tonight. Now, again, I know some of you are in areas where you call that hot, and some of you are in areas where you call that a blizzard. I can't cover everything for everybody, so again, this is just what it is for us, where we're at, and how we're going to go about it. The same principles can apply across the board regardless of your environment, and you'll just have to tailor them a little bit to what fits your specific needs. So right now, we want to start thinking the purposes of discussion here, look at your layering. Look at your outer layers, your base layers. What do I expect the temperature to be today? What's the wind going to be? What's it going to be tonight? Is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? What am I going to be doing? Where am I going to be doing it at? Why are all those important? Well, one quick example, and it's just a micro example, is 55 degrees and moving real slow through the woods is going to make you feel a lot different temperature-wise than 55 degrees and moving at a little bit faster pace in an open area where the sun's beating down on you. Body temperature is not going to be the same in those two areas, even though the air temperature and such is probably the same. That sun's going to warm you up, your body movement's going to warm you up, etc. The last thing you want to do in colder weather, and we're going to focus on the cooler to colder weather right now because that's the time of year we're going into, not summertime. The last thing you want to do is overheat. Yes, you don't want to overheat in the wintertime. You start sweating, then when you stop moving, you cool off, you can get hypothermic real quick. Remember, hypothermia, if your body temperature drops to 94 from its normal 98, you're in hypothermia. Now, it's not what a lot of people think of as hypothermia. Everybody thinks that your body temperature is way down, but by definition, you're going hypothermic once your body temperature drops below about 98 degrees. I'm not going to delve into the minutia of that and argue all that. Let's just go with that for the sake of discussion. So, given the conditions that I've pointed out here right now, what I'm wearing is just my regular PDU pants, ACU top, with one exception. I've got two base layers on. I've got my regular level 1 short sleeve t-shirt, and I've got a combat shirt on. Now, let me pause right there for the sake of discussion for anybody that's watching this and don't understand what I'm talking about. The military's come up with varying level systems of clothing to adapt for varying weather conditions. It's usually commonly referred to as the PCU system, as well as a couple other names. Those are all kind of irrelevant. What the layers are is your level 1 would be like just your regular base layer underwear and a short sleeve t-shirt for hot weather. Now those, again, another point to pause. Your base layers, whatever you do, guys, avoid 100% cotton, okay? We can do a whole nother video on that, but I'm just telling you, free country, do what you wish. Avoid 100% cotton for your underwear, your base layer shirts, be it long or short sleeve and pants. Avoid 100% cotton. You want a nylon cotton blend, polyester cotton blend, or 100% polyester. One of those three, even 100% nylon in some cases. Anything that's not going to absorb moisture and hold it like 100% cotton does. You want it to dry out really fast. So, that said, regular short sleeve, well, let me back up. I said never mind, but I didn't finish. Your level 2 is the same weight of material as your level 1, only it's long underwear bottoms and a long sleeve top. Level 3 is what's called a gridded fleece. It's a heavier weight than the level 1 and level 2 stuff. Again, in a long sleeve shirt, long sleeve bottom, long pant bottoms that act as a much warmer layer, your base layer. And then in some places you've got an even heavier level 3 top that's heavier than even the gridded fleece. Then you jump up into your level 4, which is a lightweight wind shirt or wind jacket. Typically it's just a thin nylon shell that doesn't have any insulation in it. Its sole purpose is to block the wind. And sometimes they're somewhat water resistant, but they're usually not not waterproof. In other words, if you get out in the rain in it in a while, it'll soak through it. So level 4 is your wind layer. Level 5 typically tends to be a more true wind resistant and water resistant layer. Level 5 jackets and pants are really, really versatile because they provide you with protection from the wind and a pretty good amount of protection from the rain. A long, sustained, heavy rain will probably eventually soak through it after a while in some places, but light rain usually isn't a problem. Moving up to your level 6, that is your 100% windproof, waterproof shell jacket and or pants that nothing's getting through. The wind's not going through it, the rain and water is not going through it, consequently nothing's going out of it typically either, i.e. heat, sweat, etc. Now none of those layers are typically, like the level 4, 5, and 6, none of those are typically insulated. Okay, now there is some commercial stuff aside from the military line that is insulated, but the military line typically isn't. Your level 7 is a heavy insulated jacket and pants. It's affectionately known as a puffy suit in some circles. It's like putting on 1,000 puppies and cuddling your body. It is ridiculously warm and comfortable, but it's typically only if it's pretty chilly and you're being stationary or you're in really, 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 really cold weather moving. It does a really good job maintaining heat. So, all that out of the way and said, let's get back to what we were originally talking about with our different layers.